Hello, everyone. The purpose of this video is just to give you an overview of the peer response activity. Uh, so what you're seeing is what you would see when you log into your own account. Basically, Perusall will assign you two essays to review, and you'll be able to see them like this. And I think there's a thing up here where it says next part. That's how you go to the next essay. Now, I want to be clear, for each essay, there is essentially two key, two different parts that you should be doing. The first part, as it says in the assignment directions where you click into this, is that you should have at least four fairly developed comments on the particular draft, on each draft that you're assigned. And you can do these comments the same way that you do your other comments for different articles, and they should show up the same way. And then the student writer will be able to see that. So it would look something like, let me read through this first one. So one thing that I would, just reading this sentence here, then actually, particularly this pronoun here, they, I might add a comment and say something like, if you know the author of the text, you know the gender of the author of the text, you should use the singular pronoun. So it seems like the student is referring to the David Brooks text because uh, the student writes, I think that a human written text is much easier to understand because they offer personal experiences. Um, and so I think that they're referring to the singular text of David Brooks. And so you could write, that could be part of your comment and say, you know, if you know the gender of the writer, you should use appropriate singular pronoun. Um, and then you could add additional thoughts or questions to that. For instance, saying something like, um, if, however, you intended to refer to human writers in general, you should make that clear. And then possibly offer particular um, feedback with that. So I could do that, and then the student will be able to see that, and they could respond to your feedback later. Um, it is interesting also that this plural use of for pronouns, especially for even for authors that where the gender is known, that's a very common thing for AI writing to do. It's over applying some other rule that it found, um, and it's then using that in these cases. So that's just interesting to note that that's something you would see in AI writing as well. Now, after you do your comments, you should be able to close this and Okay, so I was able to go back and get to this piece, I think, because my view is a little bit different, and I'm not able to see the student's view completely, and I wasn't able to get back to that in the same screen. But for yours, hopefully that won't be an issue. So once you've made comments on the text, you should um, be able to fill out this rubric on the right hand side, and you can. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so then once you've done that, once you've made your 4 comments, um, or you can do it iteratively. In other words, you can be filling out the rubric and then making the comments. Um, but eventually, you'll want to go through this rubric on the right hand side, which kind of replicates, or it does replicate, though uh, not, it doesn't include as much detail as the rubric that I'm going to use when reviewing your essay, but it basically has the key elements from that. It's based on that. And what you'll do is you'll look through the essay and you'll answer these, you'll look at these questions. So thesis and argument, and then you'll read the different criteria. So 0 is the lowest. You see thesis is unclear, missing, or not arguable. Supporting arguments are weak or irrelevant. And then 3 points is thesis is exceptionally clear, nuanced, and arguable. Supporting arguments are compelling and insightful. And so you would find where you think this essay stands. Again, I don't expect you to be expert evaluators, and the student's grade is not based um, on the scores that you give it, but these are helpful to indicate to your peers maybe what they might need to work on, and also for your own skill development of being able to discern different levels of quality, which will help you when you revise your own essay as well. And so you do the same thing for analysis and critical thinking, evidence and examples, and organization and structure. And then you can provide your overall feedback down here. Um, Maybe something if you wanted to clarify any one of your characterizations above. And so that's basically it. So you would go through the essay, make comments, interact with it, point out things. It doesn't have to be things that are wrong with the essay. It can be things that work really well. You're bringing your experience as a reader to this text, not as necessarily an expert um, writer, but as someone who understands, is able to read, and is able to notice things. Which ideas are interesting, which ideas need development, which ideas are confusing. Those are all helpful things that you can point out to your classmates. So you do that within this text, you'll fill out the rubric, and then you move on to your next essay, and you'll have 2 of these. And you want to make sure that you complete this by Wednesday this week. Remember, the peer responses are the only assignments during the main part of the semester where you will have due date on Wednesday. This is to allow your feedback to be used in the revision process.